Well, who guards Carson Edwards is a big headline for Tennessee. Injury news. Let's check in with Allie LaForce. Hello, Allie.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Chris. It will take a full team effort to guard Carson Edwards, but that will start with Lamonte Turner. But we found out yesterday that Turner suffered a big toe injury in Columbus against Iowa last weekend. He didn't practice all week. He was limited in practice yesterday, so it's a matter of mind over matter today.
Thank you, Allie. Let's get it going here. This crowd is up. They are hyped. Nearly 20,000 expected in the arena tonight. Matt Haarms, Kyle Alexander at the tip. It is Tennessee ball, and the Sweet 16 is underway. South Regional semifinal. Jordan Bone runs the show at the point guard position for the Volunteers. Tennessee outlasting Iowa last week. It is Bone who gets up the first shot, and the three-pointer is good, and that starts our scoring tonight.
If you're a Volunteer fan, that's a great sign to see Bone knock it down, and that was a play called by his coach, trusting him to make the first bucket of the game.
Third consecutive Sweet 16 for the Purdue Boilermakers. This has been a stopping point for them as Matt Haarms gets the first points on the board for Purdue, the big man from Amsterdam. And Haarms with a block.
So funny listening to people this week talk about Haarms wasn't going to be able to play because of the physicality of Purdue. I think he's saying you guys may need to watch some games and quit just reading the scouting report.
Trending more towards 7-3 than 7-2, a shot blocking presence. He's great on the offensive glass as well. Purdue shared the conference title with Michigan State in the Big Ten, and Haarms goes, he travels. No shot, he walked with it. It's a Purdue turnover.
And what's incredible about this block is he has to get back into play. Ooh, that could have hit the glass first. Not sure about that, but hey, as a guy going up against a shot blocker, you either have to get it up to the glass high enough the ref can see it, or hurry up and quick him before he can block it.
Jordan Bone checked by Carson Edwards. You got Bone, Turner, Williams, Schofield, and Alexander on the floor. Familiar starting five for Tennessee. A steal by Nojel Eastern. And Eastern all the way in a two-handed jam. One of the best defenders in the Big Ten. All Big Ten defense. First team. Nojel Eastern with the swipe.
I think with both of these teams, these are going to be conference wins tonight. What do I mean by that? The way you play. Purdue plays in a physical Big Ten conference, which will help tonight against this team. But Tennessee plays in the SEC, quickness and strength. They're going to have to be ready.
Admiral Schofield unable to connect on the first. Alexander secures the offensive board. Well, he is really coming on, Kyle Alexander. Relatively new to the game, just his 6th year playing basketball, turned into a force. Here's Williams, hits the backboard, and Haarms with the rebound.
That's because Haarms got back into play. I mean, his lateral quickness as a 7'3" guy is pretty impressive. He wanted Williams to shoot that shot as opposed to get to the post and dominate where he can.
Eastern with the reverse. A quick 6-0 burst for the Purdue Boilermakers after Bone hit the opening 3 of the game. Bone lightning fast, one of the best point guards in the country, and he's 2 for 2. And a quick 5 for Jordan Bone.
That's a tough shot. If you're Edwards, you just can't get upset with that. You say, hey, I had some great O, that's some great defense, that's just better O that time.
Now this crowd is hyped. Just 2.5 hours from West Lafayette, the home of the Boilermakers. Ryan Cline, deadly three-point shooter. And Cline sees the first one go down. That unorthodox shot of Ryan Cline, but it goes. And Williams, little turnaround. No, Eifert with the board.
I think the height of Haarms is going to bother Williams all night tonight inside. He's a little undersized. He can use his strength, but if he can't get to his leverage, so tough. But on the defensive end, hey, he uses his athletic ability to get a block.
Nowhere to go inside. Edwards is a supreme driver, gets to the line a lot. He is a high-usage player for Purdue, and he is the #1 target for Tennessee, as he is most opponents that Purdue plays this year. But they do have weapons outside of Carson Edwards. Williams taking Haarms down to shot clock at 4. And Williams gets the friendly roll, going to stay on the floor, a foul. I believe that was called on Nojel Eastern.
Look at this play on help by Williams, telling his guard, hey, do not foul. He comes over and gets the block, and I just mentioned that maybe the height of Haarms would deter Williams from shooting. And he said, no, do you see this shoulder work I got? Coach Barnes believes in him, and he believes in himself.
How about this? 31 wins for Tennessee. They're 31-5 this year. Went 15-3 in the SEC. They beat Kentucky. One of those losses to Kentucky. 2 of the losses to Auburn. The win today, Tennessee would win a program record 32 if they advance to the Elite Eight. So count the basket. Ball stays on this side of the floor after the foul on No-Gel Eastern. And substitutions for both coaches. And that one's going the other way. Just into the game, John Fulkerson picks up the foul. Take a breath. We're off and running. Sweet 16 in Louisville tonight. Let's take a look at the Buick Tournament summary. 5 ACC teams remaining in the Sweet 16, and we're going to see one of them. The Virginia Cavaliers will be on this floor a little bit later tonight, matching up against Oregon, which is the highest seed remaining at 12. 4 SEC teams remaining: Tennessee, Kentucky, Auburn, and LSU. And don't forget, over on CBS right now, Gonzaga and Florida State. We're glad you're with us here on TBS. You saw Matt Painter, 14th year at Purdue, the coach of the year in the Big Ten Conference. You got Matt Painter and Rick Barnes. They've been through the battles of the NCAA tournament before, and 2 very talented teams that have arrived here to Louisville, Kentucky. Trevion Williams, first time on the floor. Here's Carson Edwards, his first shot, too strong, and there's Williams with the board, finds Edwards. Eric Hunter will pull it, and it's Williams again. And Williams had it poked out of bounds by Jordan Bowden. Purdue does a lot of damage, Chris, on the offensive glass and then kicking it to the shooters. That's where they get a ton of their points.
How about giving Williams and Schofield a dose of their own medicine? And what I mean by that is some muscle inside, attacking the boards, getting extra possessions for his team.
Williams, the freshman, nice. He gave him a big lift during the regular season. He stood his own against Nick Ward and Michigan State, earned 8 starts this year. He could be an X factor today. That's poked away by Eifert, right into the hands of Schofield. And Tennessee will get it organized. Bone on the bench. Turner will run the point. So far, Turner looks pretty good. No ill effects of that injured toe that Allie reported on. It was a major concern for the Volunteers yesterday.
Look at this post move by Williams. I know he's just a freshman, but this takes a lot of confidence and patience. Gives a little shoulder work and a nice soft touch with the jump hook.
You claiming him as Detroit? 1 year in Detroit in high school, originally from Chicago.
Truthfully, when you go to Detroit, man, you become a Detroiter. The city just takes you, baby. That's what we do.
Ryan Cline, excellent defense. Another turnover for Tennessee. Hunter on the move. Here's Cline. Doesn't take him much to get his shot up. Oh, Schofield on it. Now Cline comes up short. There's Williams. Another offensive board. Williams. Whoa, man. The tank has arrived.
I've not seen that happen to Williams or the Tennessee Volunteers all year. As you see Bowden take a quick one, and that was a nice 3.
Big answer, Jordan Bowden.
And Bowden's shoe is off. He just throws it over to the side. So you have to clear the floor out and let him go after the man with no shoe. He doesn't have a shoe on. What are you passing it for?
And the freshman Eric Hunter gives it up. Edwards 0 for 2 to start his night. Make it 0 for 3 now, as Bowden needs time to get the shoe on. It's amazing how they just slip the shoe on nowadays. No wonder it comes off so easy.
Exactly. We know Schofield can get hot. We know that he had 15 in the first half the other night against Iowa. You want to see him get in the post and work.
Fulkerson working on Williams, and a foul. And that's going to be on Purdue. I believe Grady Eifert will be called for the foul. What are we giving on the shoe toss here? That's a solid 9 right there.
Solid. That's a bad catch, though. How about they throw it right back to him? That's a 10 on the catch.
And the catch. And a shoe assist.
Right.
Jordan Bowden could be one of those key bench producers for Tennessee, as Jordan Bone will return. And it's going to be the first breather for the SEC Player of the Year back-to-back. Grant Williams, he'll sit.
Must watch for the back screen right now on Schofield and on others to get a jump shooter open, just like that.
And Bowden hits the 3. He's got his shoe back on. Got the feet settled and knocks down a triple. 6-0 Tennessee run, all tied at 13. And a foul on Bowden.
Tell you what, that's the back screen. You make the defense have to honor the man that you're screening. You take two, and all Bowden needs is just a little bit of space. And this is what Purdue was working on in practice the other day, is how do you guard the back screen, stop the cut of Williams and Schofield, and then still retreat to the shooter.
Tennessee got a scare from Iowa, another team out of the Big Ten in round 2. They were up 25 in that game. Ended up going to overtime. Haarms lost it out of bounds. Nope, tapped out by Tennessee. I think they're saying the last touch by Alexander. Shot clock at 13. Purdue has the ball. 13:20 remaining.
Tell you what, this crowd in here is pumped, man. This is one of the best crowds we've had so far.
And a foul. Alexander met him at the rim. Alexander goes 6'11", the senior from Canada. But the 7'3" Matt Haarms draws the foul.
That's Haarms taking it up straight again. All week I heard about how Haarms doesn't like physical play. He embraces physical play. He wants you to do it so he can get to the line.
Numbers up across the board for Haarms. Hey, a reminder that Coke is introducing new Orange Vanilla Coke, their first new taste in 12 years. Great to have you with us. Sweet 16. South Regional semifinal from Louisville. Haarms missed them both. And that was Alexander again, active hands as he was falling to the floor to secure the possession for Tennessee.
I would love to see Bone come off of some screens, get involved in the offense like he did the first play.
Schofield for 3. Edwards clears it away. Another whistle. Oh, there's a roll of tape on the floor. Fortunate Edwards didn't come down on that roll of tape. Good eyes there by Joe Lindsay, officiating his 20th consecutive NCAA tournament.
I'll tell you what, it's a little unfortunate as the referees go and check the time, because they got the rebound. If you look to the right of the screen, you see the tape right there, and like you said, great job by the refs to get that. But unfortunate for Purdue, because now you get 94 feet of pressure by Bowden when really you would have had it and just been able to push it up.
Save that tape. Might need it for some suit pants later. It's a little hot here.
Yeah, it is.
Splitsville is possible. Here's Edwards on the take. And Edwards finishes. Well, he's not very tall, Chris, but he is stout. Looks like a running back.
Oh, I'll tell you what, yes, he's compact and he is fearless. That might be his greatest gift and trait as he gets to the cup.
And ball, denied. Wheeler flying high for the rejection. Eastern gives it to Stefanovic. He's another good three-point shooter for Purdue.
Just missed Haarms inside.
Edwards working on Turner. Knocks it down. Signature move of Carsen Edwards, the killer crossover, and then he buries the 3. 68 points for Edwards in the first 2 games of this NCAA tournament, including 42 against Villanova in round 2. Turner finds Alexander in a travel. Tennessee turnover. Timeout on the floor.
Tennessee coming in for the dunk. No, it's a block party by Wheeler, and check this out. Off the penny pass, the deep 3, bang.
Coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship Regional Semifinals begins tomorrow at 7 p.m. on ESPN, ESPN2, and the ESPN app. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. Who'd you spot back there?
Oh, man,
Chris Webber.
that's my man, one of the greatest volunteers of all time. That's my man. That's SEC, the former SEC Player of the Year, the scoring champ. That's my man, Allen Houston. Yeah.
Allen Houston, a Louisville native, famously left Louisville to go to Tennessee back in the early 90s. Great to see Allen Houston here rooting on his Volunteers. Got plenty of legacy with both of these programs. Here's Wheeler coming off that block. Comes up with a 3. Aaron Wheeler, the freshman out of Connecticut.
Now, Edwards has been attacking so much that Tennessee has started to double team, and that's why you see the pass that just went out there to Wheeler for the 3-pointer. They're now trying to stop Edwards and make someone else score.
Each team is at 3 threes. Schofield, no. And into the hands of Wheeler. He gives him some length at 6'9". 8-0 run for Purdue, and a turnover by the Boilers gives us a chance to check in with Allie. What do you have, Allie?
Ryan, you mentioned Allen Houston. He was in the locker room with the team before the game. They ran out of time, so he wasn't able to give him a speech. But back earlier this month, on March 1st, he talked with the team, and his message to him was, it's not about winning at all. It's about the men that you're becoming. He said, you'll go down as winners no matter what because of that. And when you have a bunch of kids who have never been to a Sweet 16 before, it means a lot to hear that type of message. Coach Barnes also sharing with us, I'm just trying not to make it too big for these guys. I want them to enjoy this moment.
Well, that's a great coach, because once he wants them to do is to enjoy the moment. If they start to think about the next game, you can't be present in this one. So good job by them, and Allen Houston giving his team some inspiration.
Williams a pass. Two freshmen hooking up. Wheeler can't get that one to go, and it's Williams who secures it.
Purdue has been forcing the jump shots of Tennessee, and that's okay as long as it's not the guards, Bone and others, that can knock it down. But they're trying to make Williams and Schofield specifically play outside of the paint to see different jerseys every time they catch the ball.
Edwards on Turner. Grant Williams, checked by the freshman Trevion Williams. And he's been cold to start this game. Grant Williams now just 1 for 4. Does have 4 boards. Edwards for 3. Missed his first 2, actually missed his first 3, and then made his last 2, including a 3-pointer made. Purdue currently on an 8-0 run. And here is Bowden. Wheeler with another board. So Purdue is a team in the Big Ten this year that could get on some runs. 78 runs this season of 7 points or more. They have a quick strike ability with their 3-point shooting.
They do, and that quick strike ability, as you put it, forces other teams to take a bad shot. We see Eastern miss one right there. And if you're the Vols, you just got to settle down. Get into these sweet spots. Get Bone in the pick and roll. Get it inside, penetrate, kick it, and let some guys score.
Tennessee's missed 7 of their last 8. Bullet pass, Schofield. Oh, it came up short. Now Purdue in transition. Wheeler running the floor, and a two-handed jam. There's a freshman who's ready for the bright lights of the Sweet 16. Aaron Wheeler, hello.
Whoa. Looks like it's Purdue place now. Looks like a Purdue home court. All the Purdue fans just got in the building.
And Eastern fouls Jordan Bone. Take you back. Defense to offense.
I'll tell you what, I thought Schofield was going to break the backboard on this one, but we call this breaking your back when you miss a dunk like that. Where I'm from, but here on the other end, getting out off the one leg, Wheeler making sure he finishes strong.
He is all smiles for a reason. Great minutes from freshman Aaron Wheeler from Stamford, Connecticut. Had a block, hit a 3, had a big dunk. Here's Bone, hot pass, nice catch. Schofield, Williams comes away with it, and count that! Hoop and a harm. Grant Williams to the line for a chance at 3.
That's his job. This is who he is. That's why Purdue's been trying to force him to get jumpers. His play wasn't called, but he didn't need his play called. He just used his effort to get an extra possession for his team right there, or to make sure he gets it in. How about the strong putback from the strong power forward?
Strong's the best way to describe Grant Williams. Back-to-back player of the year in the SEC. Cannot finish off the 3-point possession. Tennessee had missed 8 of 9 shots before Williams' shot went. They were on a scoring drought of a little over 5 minutes. Purdue by 8. 8:20 remaining, and a very entertaining start to this Sweet 16 matchup.
Both Williams up top banging. These guys are going at it. Both Williams from both teams.
Carson Edwards for 3. Yes. First team all Big Ten, Carson Edwards. He's hit 3 of his last 4. Got the mismatch they want, Tennessee, with the speedy Bone and Williams guarding him here.
Williams, do not foul. Rely on your help.
Bone goes right by him, and right on cue, he fouls him. Timeout on the floor. 26-15. It is the Boilers of the Big Ten by 11. Purdue by 11, 7:42 left. We remind you that football continues with AAF, Alliance of American Football, on TNT. Stream it on BR Live all season long. Take a look at our Ford first half game summary. Tennessee has hit 3 threes. They had a scoring drought of a little over 5 minutes. Paint points for Purdue is a big story, Chris. They're plus 10 right now.
And can you imagine that with the Admiral, Schofield, and Williams inside? So a good job by Purdue now, but you can't get happy or fall asleep. This Tennessee volunteer team is for real. They have a lot of fight, starting with this man with the ball, Bone.
Went 15-3 in the SEC this year. They've already put 31 wins on the board. E. Pond's in the game for the first time for Tennessee. And a foul underneath trying to feed Grant Williams. And the foul belongs to Trevion Williams, which is number 2, and he'll head to the bench.
And give Bone credit for that foul. Why? He had the mismatch with Trevion Williams just a couple of plays ago and drew the foul on him. And this is when Tennessee starts to wear you down, getting you in foul trouble, letting their big fellas do the dirty work inside.
Next foul by Purdue is going to send Tennessee into the bonus. Grant Williams looking for Bowden, open for 3. Up and over, Carson Edwards.
That was a play call. They wanted Williams to be the decoy so that Pons could set the flare screen for the jump shot. What a great play call by Coach Rick Barnes.
Jordan Bowden has hit 3 threes already. 3 for 4 from the field, but all of his 3-pointers are good. And Bone takes that away. How about the hand? Get it right back to him. Fulkerson. Jordan Bone blocked again. Hunter this time.
How did he get that shot blocked? How did he block that? What a great job to get back into play.
Here's Cline for 3. Eifert and Fulkerson. A scrum. And it's going to be Tennessee ball. Man, these cats are leaving it all on the floor in this first half.
And this is why you tell players never give up on the play. You're in no man's land right now. He doesn't know what he's going to. Hunter with the beautiful block, getting back into play.
And so they overturn the call. Joe Lindsey comes in and overturns the call, saying last touch by Tennessee. So Purdue has possession. 2:30 on the clock for the Boilermakers. Foul on Schofield. Foul number 4. First on Admiral Schofield. Rick Barnes now in year 4 at Tennessee. You'll see the whiteboard by Greg Gary, who will be the next head coach at Mercer. He handles the offense for Purdue. Edwards turns a corner. Edwards hangs, hits the bottom of the backboard, but he's fouled. And that's when he's at his best. He buries the 3s and he gets to the free throw line.
How do you stop a guard that is so quick, that has handles, that can shoot, and then when he plays off the ball, sprints like you're taught to do from the very first day of playing basketball? This kid Edwards has it all, and he gives you everything in his bag every night.
Carson Edwards, an 84% free throw shooter, and misses the first. Hey, we invite you to watch every game live on your phone, tablet, computer, and favorite streaming device with March Madness Live. You can watch now, ncaa.com/March Madness, or download the app today. All-time Big Ten leader, 3-pointers made in a single season. Edwards has hit 2 tonight. He's 6th in the nation in 3-pointers made this year and already has the Purdue record. Bowden can't connect. He's been hot. Comes up empty on that one. 1 and done for the Vols.
I'm just amazed by how many jump shots the Vols are taking. Yes, they can knock down jump shots. They sure can. But their bread and butter, that's in that painted area. And right now, either the defense or the lack thereof is letting it happen. And how about the finish right there by Haarms? Taking the page out of the books that he's seen the guys do to him. What did he do? He slipped the pick and roll, keeping the defender off guard.
Purdue now plus 12 points in the paint. 16 points coming in the lane for the Boilermakers. An 11-point lead for Purdue. Bowden's 3-point shooting has kept Tennessee in the first half. Here's Williams. Rises up with a jumper, knocks it down.
So good in that mid-range area, Williams. He can knock you down with the jump hook. He's going to rebound, get extra possessions, and he can knock it down off the dribble as well.
Williams, the top scorer in the SEC, averages 19 a game. Williams now with 6 on 3 of 6 shooting. He's hit his last 2 field goal attempts. Here's Eifert for 3. Yes!
That play, Tennessee was communicating on D, but they had to switch everything because they got out of sorts on the defensive end, and the execution of Purdue in the half-court set won that possession.
Eifert doesn't take many threes, but when he does, he hits them at a high rate. 46% three-point shooter this year. And a foul as Williams goes to the hole. No shot. And the foul belongs to Matt Haarms.
Look at that slip. Williams expected him to go up and have the pick and roll. He didn't communicate right there. He thought that he was going to have to go trap it. Smart play by Haarms. Strong finish, and he knew it. Someone told him to slip, and he said, "Thanks, coach. That's your assist."
From Amsterdam, had some pro offers as a teenager, decided that he wanted to continue his amateur career, came to the United States, the Kansas City at Sunrise Academy, and wanted to come to Big Man U in Purdue. And here he is now in his sophomore year.
As you say, BA, all he is doing is delaying the decision, because I tell you what, if it's about talent and game, that next level, he'll be on there.
Brad Williams knocks them both down. So Williams starting to settle in here for the Vols. He has 8 points. He's had a couple of buckets and 2 free throws in the last 5 minutes. Williams on Haarms. 4.5 to go in the first half.
I think Tennessee wants to change around. They're in a full court press. And Edwards says, "You could be in my jersey with me, and I'll still knock this shot down on my defender."
How about that burst by Carson Edwards? He's got 11 now. Williams on the take. Williams, no, and the follow. Alexander gets his own. Here's Bowden for 3. Boy, Schofield this time. And now Bowden, met at the rim, and a foul by Eifert. Ton of chances for Tennessee on the offensive glass.
I mean, look at this. I mean, he's all in Edwards' jersey. I mean, I don't know if there's a player in the country that has a green light like Edwards, and Edwards rewards coaches saying, "Coach, you give me the green light, I'll make the tough bucket."
That's not a green light. That's neon green.
Exactly.
Out of the Shaka Smart vocabulary. Neon. In and out for Bowden. Hey, show your love for your favorite NCAA team with officially licensed fan gear. For the best selection of team apparel and accessories, head to ncaa.com/shop. Speaking of gear, speaking of swag, how about the baseball bats that were delivered to us today with our names on it?
Oh,
Louisville Slugger, Slugger Nation. We appreciate that.
Yeah, you got to take me to a batting cage tomorrow.
Nah, you'll break that. 2 swings.
And if you're Tennessee right now, you know what the situation is. You're down 13, 4 minutes. You just want to make sure, no stupid fouls, up the pressure. See if you can get a couple of turnovers so you can get this crowd into it and get out and run.
Here's Edwards again. The step back comes up short. Bone with the rebound. Purdue had started 1 out of 5 from behind the arc. They've hit 5 of their last 8. And they have expanded it to a 13-point lead. Tennessee needs to get going here. 3.5 left in this first. Nice pass and nice finish. What a setup there. A hockey assist from Bone. Sets up Bowden to Alexander.
That was the most patient possession so far this game for Tennessee. Now, if they can just bottle that up, keep that, and play with pace, they'll get right back in this game.
Here's Cline. Turns the corner. And Cline buries it. Fundamental as they get. And Ryan Cline. He's a senior sharpshooter from Indiana. He's had a great career with the Boilermakers. And he gives Purdue nearly 12 points per game. And a lot of those coming on the 3-point shot. Bowden up in the air is fouled by Cline. That's going to be 3 free throws, I believe, if they say it's on the shot. Nope. Before the shot, free throws coming, though. 2 of them for Tennessee.
Yeah. What? Way to go, Trevion. Good D, good D, good D. Take it up. Yeah! Yeah!
The father of Grady Eifert, that is Greg Eifert, played for Gene Cady for the Boilermakers in the early 80s. In the short shorts era. And of course his other son Tyler, star football player, a tight end at Notre Dame. He's now with the Cincinnati Bengals, and those two enjoying watching son and brother Grady Eifert, who was a non-scholarship walk-on, ended up earning a scholarship, and he has had a terrific career. Senior out of Fort Wayne. So just some cleanup here. They called the foul on the floor, so 2 free throws for Jordan Bowden. What's Tennessee got to do here in the last 2.5 of this first half, Chris?
They got to get to Tennessee basketball. I've only seen about 3 plays of Tennessee basketball so far, and I know that Coach Rick Barnes is going to remind these guys at halftime of who they are. They must pressure, 94 feet now. Make sure they take time off the clock and put pressure on the Purdue offense, and more importantly, make sure you get it back to Williams and Schofield, even if they're only offensive decoys, so that they can dribble, set a flare screen on that opposite side, and let them be the facilitator. But they need the ball in their hands.
Schofield's been shut out thus far. He's 0 for 4. Williams has 8. Bowden leads all Tennessee scorers with 10.
How about Tennessee? They're going to a zone now, and Edwards says, "Thank you very much. I will knock it down." First defensive adjustment for the Vols tonight.
He's one of the great shooters in college basketball. He's hit 4 threes already. He's 5 for 10, has 14 points, and leads all scorers. And that was after a slow start. He missed his first 3 shots. Turner takes Edwards to the hole. Turner hangs and scores. Strong to the basket. And giving Carson Edwards a little bit of his own medicine.
That's that volunteer ball that we talked about, getting into the creases, penetrating. But if you're Travion Williams, you cannot get your 3rd foul this half. No stupid fouls. They need you in the second half. And right there, Williams, he gets a ticky-tack one that he may regret later. But this is Tennessee ball. Attacking, and look, he had a man wide open under just in case he wanted to drop it off. But the penetration of Tennessee is really what keeps these guys in the game, along with the muscle of their tag team, Schofield and Williams in the paint.
So that foul on Grant Williams, his 2nd, and Rick Barnes won't take any chances. And Matt Painter counters with Haarms back on the floor for Travion Williams. And Edwards, a long 3. Maybe an ill-advised 3 that time. He was feeling it a little bit.
He tried to get foul on that play. He and his coach actually are looking over at the ref saying, "Hey, we got him caught with his hand in the cookie jar."
Boy, look at ball, killer crossover, and the follow dunk. No, wave it off. It was in the cylinder. No shot, no basket. Purdue ball.
So unfortunate for the Volunteers on this play, because this is the effort that you want, especially from your big fella. Yeah, it looks like it's still maybe in the cylinder. Close and a tough one. Oh, that one looks different, of course, in super slow motion than it would in regular speed there. But if you're Tennessee, forget about it. Get back in the game with your effort and attention to detail.
That was Jeff Anderson with the call there. Edwards is run into by Turner. Stops on a dime. And Lamonte Turner, if you weren't with us at the outset of the telecast tonight, Ali LaForce reporting that Turner is battling a sore toe, injured that toe, hasn't practiced this week, injured that toe in the Iowa game in the 2nd round. It's been moving pretty well, but as this game goes on, it'll be something to pay attention to, especially trying to cover Carson Edwards.
Yeah, anyone that's ever dealt with any foot injuries understand that toe injury for him is just like having a hurt knee in the game. It is that serious. That's especially for someone as quick as he is.
So a foul on Wheeler is going to be free throws for Tennessee. What do you have, Ali? You can add to that.
I talked to Turner yesterday. He said it's more just irritating than anything, and there's a lot of players in this tournament that it would really screw up if they couldn't practice with their team, if they couldn't get their shots up. Superstitious players, but he is not one of them. He said if you're not ready at this point in the season, a couple extra shots isn't going to make the difference. He didn't seem too concerned mentally.
All right, thank you, Ali. Something to watch. Coming up on AT&T at the half, first half analysis and an update on Florida State and Gonzaga from Anaheim, plus the latest NCAA tournament news, all coming up. AT&T at the half. He missed them both, and Schofield still has the donut on the board. Admiral Schofield, first team all SEC, is 0 for 4 from the field and now 0 for 2 from the line. Purdue ball, 15 on the shot clock, 55.1 on the game clock. Schofield didn't play much at the end of the Iowa game in round 2. Matter of fact, it was big news that he didn't want to play. He felt like the rotation was performing well with Kyle Alexander, so he sat. Haarms for 3. The lefty misses, And Bowden on the move. 13 seconds separate shot and game. And Bone runs into Haarms. Schofield with a freshman on him. Schofield drives and a foul on Wheeler.
I'll tell you what, if you were Wheeler, do not get frustrated. You can't play that play any better. And if you're Schofield, you say, this is what I do. Welcome to the house of pain. I'm going to keep putting my shoulder dead into your sternum all night long and see if I can wear you down.
The leader, Admiral Schofield, high character, vocal leader. Had a bit of a struggle at the end of the season, but in that Iowa game we're talking about, when he didn't do much in the second half, got into foul trouble, but he scored 17 points in the first half against the Hawkeyes, and he hit 3 clutch threes in round 1 against Colgate from the corner. And his shooting woes continue.
And Coach Painter is going to remind his Purdue team of that at halftime. I don't care what the score is. Don't forget, Admiral Schofield can score in bunches in any half.
Just tenths of a second separate the game clock and the shot clock. And Edwards goes to work on Turner. Eric Hunter Jr. Edwards goes to the rack. Edwards hangs. Nothing there. Runs into a wall. In transition. 1 on the clock and a foul. And that's going to be free throws for Tennessee with 1.5 left on the game clock.
Look at this play here at the end. Tough call right there. But that's why you push the pace, to put the referees in a position. That's not a tough call. That's a great call, especially in fast time.
All right, Bowden misses another free throw. The Volunteers from the free throw line are now 4 for 12. And Bowden is 1 for 5 from the line. Missed them both. And that is going to take us to the end of the first half. The Purdue freshman delivering in a big way. Edwards hit a number of key threes, but Aaron Wheeler and Eric Hunter and Travion Williams, an excellent first half, giving Purdue some depth. 40-28, Purdue up 12 as we send it over to Allie.
Coach, your team owned the paint in that first half and knocked down 7 threes. What do you think about the attitude that this team brought?
Well, I thought our guys played well. I thought on defense we did some good things. Obviously, we had some calls go against us. We're very fortunate they missed some free throws there. But I thought offensively we were pretty good. Defensively, just trying to keep them out of the paint, trying to keep them out of rhythm. It's awful tough. They have some good guys.
You mentioned the fouls. 4 guys had 2 fouls. Do you make adjustments defensively, or do you just hope the calls go the other way in the second?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. You know, you got to go up with your hands, which I thought we did a couple times there. You know, we didn't get a friendly whistle, but, you know, it's part of it. You know, we just got to make better decisions and try to get our hands up so they don't call the cheap fouls.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.
2 coaches at Purdue since 1980. Gene Cady and that man, Matt Painter. Carson Edwards has scored 83 points in 2 games plus a half in this NCAA tournament. They had a win over Villanova. They won by 16 points. They made 16 three-pointers in that game to get to the Sweet 16. In round 1 against Old Dominion, Edwards went for 26, and it was a 13-point win. All right, talk us through Tennessee now, Chris. The Flying Candace Parkers, what do they have to do to get back into this?
Yeah, Candace texts me a whole bunch of what Tennessee needs to do, but basically what she said, she was correct. They need to get the ball inside to Schofield and Williams, let them penetrate and go to work inside in the paint, and let the guards do damage outside by attacking the basket and put pressure on the Purdue guards.
20 minutes to a trip to the Elite 8. We will have the top seed in this region, Virginia, against Oregon, the 12th seed, coming up next. South Regional semifinal here in Louisville, Kentucky, as Purdue down 12, or up 12, I should say. Tennessee with the ball, and on the floor, Williams able to save it from the seat of his pants. Grant Williams scored 8 points in that first half. Rick Barnes and company have to take a quick timeout with the ball on the floor.
Back to Louisville, where Purdue leads Tennessee 40-28. I talked to Coach Haarms at halftime. I said we didn't see the same comfort level from Schofield and Williams in the paint that we're used to seeing. How can you give them better opportunities? He said, it's not what I can do. It is completely up to them. This is something we've talked about all week. That would be a physical battle. I also said, how can you do a better job defending Edwards? He said, they're not concerned about guarding Edwards. They're going to run him off those triple screens on the baseline, and he's going to get his points. But he said, the truth is we have to play better offensively, and if we just hit free throws, we're in this game. They were 4 for 13 from the free throw line, guys.
Coach Barnes knows what he's talking about. This is his team, but Tennessee averages 36 points in the paint. Tonight, they only have 8.
Matt Haarms gets loose inside. Talk about those free throws missed. They missed 8 of their last 10 to Tennessee, but Admiral Schofield just hit his first shot on this side of the floor in the last possession for Tennessee. Has 3 points now. His first field goal make. He's 1 for 5. That is a lot of firepower to get going. Schofield now he gets free from Eifert, takes on Haarms strong and scores at the rim against 7-3.
The only thing you wonder is you don't question the effort, but you question the willingness. Why didn't they do this, them being Tennessee early? And Purdue 21-2 and lead at the halftime. I know the Vols don't care about that right now, but that shows the discipline and the killer instinct of the Boilermakers.
No-Gel Eastern, and he is fouled on his way to the basket. No shot. Foul on Schofield.
Tell you what, the dribble handoff straight to the slip. The strong finish by Haarms inside, but this is what you want right here. Schofield owning the paint and making sure he keeps attacking.
Schofield just picked up his second foul. Ryan Cline. It is an unorthodox shot. And there's a travel by Jordan Bone. Edwards was hounding him, and it's a turnover, Tennessee. So Cline hits the jumper. I love the way Matt Painter described Ryan Cline's shot. He said, looks like he's pitching a line. He's fly fishing. Ryan Cline averages nearly 12 a game. He's a 42% three-point shooter. Haarms kicks it. Here's Eifert for 3. And Haarms taps it right to Eastern, who can't finish it off. And that's going to be Purdue ball.
Tell you what, as a big fella, you just want that ball to go in so you can get a beautiful assist. And Barnes, he's getting on Bone, and we've documented that Coach Barnes has not gotten on a player as tough or has held a player as accountable as he does Bone. And right now he's letting this player know, listen, I'm sitting you down 3 minutes into the game, 2.5 minutes into the game because I need more out of it.
Lamonte Turner will run the point. Rick Barnes is tough on point guards as any coach. Now another turnover. Here's Eastern with Williams on him, and Eastern finishes this time. No-Gel Eastern had a couple of fouls in the first half. A supreme defender. Williams, no. Ripped down by Alexander, no. Kept alive by Schofield, and now Williams is fouled. The shot was blocked. Great action, not giving up on the possession by the Vols.
Schofield thought he had his man open in the post. Look at the beautiful steal right there by Eastern, and the tough finish right there. And on the other end, Haarms just the anchor in the paint, making sure that everything that was attempted, he just swatted out of bounds.
Hey, the Bleacher Report app connects you to the moments that matter faster. Follow your friends and give your take on highlights, scores, and more. You can download the BR app today. Kyle Alexander, the Canadian, the senior from Ontario, 1 out of 2 at the line. No-Gel Eastern rolled his ankle in warm-ups of game 1. He did play in the second half. He didn't play in the first half in that game against Old Dominion. And there was some concern. He did come back in game 2. He started, he looked good. He is an outstanding defender, and he's already had a couple of steals in this game. Has 2 assists as well. Here's Cline again, that quick release, and he buries a 3. Fly fishing all day long. Eight threes for Purdue. Cline has 10. It's their biggest lead. Schofield can't answer. Edwards looking to push it. Eifert running the floor. Edwards taking it all the way, and he's bumped. Swapping paint on the way to the basket.
You can call it a hitch. You can call it a cockback. You can say whatever you want. Just call it good. Just say it's wet. Just say he can shoot that thing.
42% three-point shooter this year. Averages over 7 threes a game. Had 12 points, made 4 threes in the victory over Villanova. A resounding 16-point win over the reigning national champions. And Rick Barnes now has Grant Williams in the hot seat. Coach Barnes back on the floor.
He's demanding the best out of his 2-time SEC Player of the Year, Williams. But Williams may say, hey, Coach, Haarms is doing a great job inside. I'm trying to get some looks.
Cline again. That's a long 2 for Ryan Cline. He's hot.
If you're Tennessee, the toughest thing not to do right now is to panic. Can you be deliberate with a fast pace at the same time? Usually for young teams, that's one of the hardest attributes to have.
Good answer right there. Big shot with Turner. He hit a key 3 in the win against Iowa. Was able to tie the game after Iowa had it rolling. And able to erase that 25-point deficit. It was Lamonte Turner had the big shot. Cline again. Pass inside. Haarms takes a contact and scores with the left hand. And 1 for Matt Haarms. There is a train a-rolling here. The Boilermakers of Purdue. 180 miles from West Lafayette. Their crowd is into it. Haarms will go to the line after this. This is our double take replay presented by Orange Vanilla Coke. Matt Haarms inside.
The 7'3", 250-pound sophomore. He will take the beating inside and still finish strong. And this is just on the offensive end, not showing him anchor it on the defensive end, fight for post position, getting his blocks. And I know this man all too well. He was one of the best to do it. That's Coach Gene Katie. Big Ten great.
What a great run he had. Most wins in school history, and he's hoping his protege will pass him one day as Haarms can't cap off a three-point play. There's a whistle on Purdue. I think they're going to get No-Gel Eastern here, which will be his 3rd. That is a key defensive piece for the Boilermakers. Picks up his 3rd foul, and to the bench he goes.
So great to see Coach Gene Katie up there. I mean, how proud must he be that, what did you say, BA, in the last, since 1980, they've only had he and this coach here. And I mean, that's consistency, not only in the program, the way you play basketball, but in the way you treat your students, your student athletes. And Haarms, when he has 2 blocks, this team is undefeated. That's right, Purdue is undefeated. He has 2.
He's got 3 now. There's a turnover by Edwards, was looking for Haarms. These are big possessions now for Tennessee, trying to fight their way back. And again, it is Lamonte Turner who buries the 3. He has proven to be a clutch shooter for Tennessee. Tennessee down 14. And those last 2 threes by Lamonte Turner. They've hit 6 in the game. Eric Hunter, the freshman, and he is plowed into by Bowden. And a foul on Tennessee. Once a coach, always a coach.
Think he's still coaching? Don't get a tech in the stands now, Coach. Don't get a tech. But so great with this Purdue team that what they are doing now, they've switched a little bit of the strategy as we have to clean up on the floor. They've moved Edwards off of the ball. We know that Edwards is their point guard as we have a little cleanup again, a little housekeeping. But now that they've taken Edwards off of the ball, what does that do? That puts more pressure on the defense now because they can't just all 5 eyes zone up on him when he's handling the ball. Now it's up to Hunter Jr. to make sure that he values each possession, but most importantly, get it to Edwards on the move.
20 on the shot clock. And the freshman Eric Hunter Jr. at the controls. Edwards with Turner on him. And it's an all-world matchup right here. Masterclass, both players. Turner trying to stay with him. Here's Edwards for 3. Too strong. Bone with the rebound. They push it. Here come the Vols. Bowden, who made 3 threes in the first half, gives it up, and Williams does what he does best.
That's how you use the rim to protect yourself from a shot blocker. He saw Haarms was coming from behind. He took the dribble and the post, pump fake, froze his defender, finished strong inside.
Oh, they're going to get Bowden again. This is a huge call here. Second time he has tried to fight over the top of a screen. He's been hit with a foul, and that's number 3 on Jordan Bowden.
Look at this reverse. First you freeze the pump fake. First you freeze him with a pump fake, and then use that rim. So it goes to him, and this is so unfortunate, but a good call. Bowden is trying to deny. This is what you want from your guards. You just don't want that foul. He'll probably start switching and communicating as the game goes on.
Bowden stays on the floor. They got the switch. He's now on Haarms. And here's Cline. The 3 is up, and it is in! Ryan Cline hits another one. That's his 3rd. 15 for Cline, 15 for Edwards. 10 in the half for Ryan Cline. Here's Bowden, 4-3, and a foul, and count it! Jordan Bowden, a chance at a 4-point play.
Jordan Bowden single-handedly keeping his team in it, but look at Cline with the beautiful step back, getting some space. And on the other end, Bowden just had 2 fouls trying to deny him, saying, listen, I'm playing defense, but you're going to have to guard and respect me as well. Bowden keeping them in the game, 4 for 7 field goals, but more importantly, 4 for 5 from the 3-point line.
All right, mark the score here. That's the 4th foul on Ryan Cline, and Bowden finally erases his free throw demons. Just his 2nd made free throw, now 2 for 7. 11-point game. Cline on the bench with 4 fouls. Sasha Stefanovic will take over for Cline, and a turnover. And Turner all the way. Turner with the layup. Timeout, Purdue. And now the Tennessee Volunteers arriving in the 2nd half in Louisville.
Look at this defense. He's supposed to have a hurt toe. Turner fighting through the pain. He already told our out of the force that he wasn't thinking about it, and he kept his promise because he's only thinking about D, locking someone up and getting the layup.
It is a run for the Volunteers of 11-3. Purdue had an 18-point lead. Lamonte Turner hit 2 threes back-to-back, then a steal and a layup. And he has helped Tennessee fight their way back.
Look at this suffocating D by Tennessee.
Shot clock at 7. Here's Edwards for 3. Oh, and an answer from Carson Edwards, the scoring leader in the Big Ten.
That's cold-blooded. You get the crowd into it. You get guys denying it. You think it's going to be a stop, and then he just shoots it from deep, knocks it down.
18 points for Carson Edwards. Bone on the floater. Beautifully done, Jordan Bone. Back and forth they go. 12 and a half to go in regulation. A trip to the Elite 8. Edwards on the way. Swatted by Williams, but a foul on Schofield. 2 shots for Carson Edwards.
Yeah, Carson Edwards. This is just cold-blooded. The good defense here, playing so tight, and he knocks it down in that last possession. The foul on Schofield, the reason why he got it is because he turned his back and was face guarding Haarms because Haarms was posting up. That's how you can make yourself valuable on the floor without your play being called. Have a reputation for ducking in. Haarms did it that time.
Schofield picks up his 3rd foul. Let's check in with Allie.
Hey, BA, part of that conversation with Turner included what it would take to guard a Carson Edwards. He says, I know he's going to hit some shots, but as long as I make him work and make it tough on him, I can win the overall matchup. He said, I'm not going to let made shots deflate me.
All right, Allie, thank you. Good stuff. That was going to be the premium matchup. Turner defensively against Carson Edwards. It has proven to be the case. Turner, with his offense, has helped Tennessee get back in it here. There's a foul underneath.
He's begging to stay in, but you have to pull him out if you're Coach Barnes, because that's his 3rd. But I don't know if he's met as much strength as Williams here on the free throw line, because the big boy here from Purdue is going to work inside, kind of causing a problem for the big fellas here. Williams and Williams going at it.
Trevion Williams, the freshman, will go to the line. Tennessee just committed their 7th foul. Purdue will be in the bonus the rest of the way. A very good free throw shooting team. That's an eternity just under 12.5 in regulation. They're going to be a ton of free throws in this one. Turner with Schofield and 3 fouls. Fulkerson is on the floor. Turner again, feeling it. Back iron. Eric Hunter with the board. The freshmen were excellent for Purdue in that first half, and 3 of them are on the floor. Here's one of them. And it is Wheeler who buries the triple.
How about the game from Wheeler tonight? 2 for 2 for threes, but he's got now. We've seen him get a dunk. We've seen him get in the passing lane and just cause havoc on this Tennessee Volunteer team.
Touch foul on Eric Hunter. 63-49 Boilermakers. All right, Greg, thank you. And Florida State looking for a run here. Gonzaga tried to make it to the 3rd Elite 8 in the last 5 years. Tennessee has had a little rally here. Down 14 with the ball. Schofield's been quiet tonight. Missed it. Williams cleaned it up for him.
That's what you have to do. Play your offense, get comfortable, and make sure guys are attacking the glass. Plenty of time for Tennessee to get back in this game.
Carson Edwards. Here's the freshman Wheeler again. He fires a 3 short. Bowden with the rebound. Purdue led by 18, the biggest lead of the game. It was 51-33. Tennessee answered with a 14-5 run. They got within 9. And then Purdue went on a little burst, a 7-2 run. Here's Bone. Jump stop. No, it's Wheeler with the rebound.
Tennessee can't get bored with success. Every time they have a great play, they come down and do something different.
On the take. Oh, my goodness. What a finish. Carson Edwards taking the contact and scoring at the rim. 21 for Edwards. He is one of the breakout stars in this tournament. Williams goes. Nice finish for Grant Williams. He's a Wooden finalist, Naismith finalist. And with Haarms on the bench, Williams going to work against the freshman Trevion Williams. Trevion Williams. Grant Williams on him. Little turnaround. He's got some game in there. And last touch by Wheeler. Tennessee ball.
Look at this beautiful drive by Carson Edwards. This reminds me of Derrick Rose in college. The beautiful finger roll, the compact body, the athletic ability. Man, what a beautiful finish.
From Atascocita, Texas in the Houston area. And his mother, Carla, she's got the nerves flowing right now. Her son.
That's her baby out there.
Top scorer in the Big Ten. He has had a fantastic career. 3-year starter at Purdue. He's just a junior. Big possession here as we approach the 10-minute mark. Bowden runs into Haarms and gives it right away. Stefanovic was right there for the steal. Too easy.
Coach Painter worked on that play all day at practice the other day. He wanted guys to jump in the passing lane and look later for them to try to take a charge on the big man coming through.
All this anxiety on the floor. The two coaches look very calm. Now Stefanovic gives it away. Just lost the handle. Unforced error. See if Tennessee can capitalize, trying to get it to single digits once again.
Just missed Fulkerson inside. He had post position.
Schofield in his favorite spot in the corner. Fulkerson gives it back. Turner with Edwards on him. Shot clock at 9. And deflected. Shot clock at 6.
I'm impressed. The second half definitely with the Volunteers defense, but Purdue has been this active all night. Look, you fighting over the screen. You have the big fella come and you stay in the play. And Stefanovic, that's what he did that time, and comes back and rewarded with the steal.
Well, Purdue low turnovers, but they force turnovers. Schofield, big 3 is down for the Admirals. Tennessee needed that one. And the ball is loose. Purdue ball. Great effort by Schofield. Tennessee within 9. They've carved off 9 on that deficit. Remember, it was an 18-point Purdue lead.
One thing you have to be careful about pressing Purdue full court is the speed of Edwards. He's been off the ball, but he can definitely take it on the ball like he's doing now. Watch out for the pick and roll.
Haarms with Edwards. Edwards for 3. Rattles in and out. Williams pulls down the board. Here come the Volunteers. Schofield going to work. No gel Eastern on. Oh, what a flurry of moves by Admiral Schofield, and back-to-back possessions. The Volunteers within 7.
That's what you want. Schofield telling the crowd to get in it. The crowd is telling him, get in the paint, because that's where you go to work, and we need you there to open up the floor for our other players.
Schofield's got 9 in the second half. Turnover. That was a deflection by Turner. Bowden all the way, and a foul. A block. Free throws for Jordan Bowden. Lamonte Turner with the swipe down on the other end.
What's the difference in this half? It's this. That's the first post-up that we've seen. He's only had 1 point in the first half, 9 points in the second half for Schofield. Bowden, he's been doing it all night. Bowden is the single reason that this Tennessee team is even in the game. His defensive effort, getting in the passing lanes, and then again, knocking down threes, 4 for 5.
And he leads the Tennessee scoring right now with 15. Let's take a look at enhanced stats developed with Google Cloud. So the Purdue Boilermakers in the first round against Old Dominion, second round against Villanova, and then until this second half had never trailed more than 3 minutes in this entire NCAA tournament. They have played comfortably from in front. Tennessee's trying to change all that, and the run is on. 5-point game. Ryan Cline back on the floor with 4 fouls.
Grant Williams cannot get a foul right here.
Big call.
Even Allen Houston knew it. And this is the thing. Why do you foul when you know you're not going to get a steal or a block? That's what Coach Barnes is saying to him right now. He just said, why are you doing it? That's his 4th foul. He must go to the bench. And you just don't want that. We saw that in the first half where Bone drove Williams in for Purdue and got a foul on the big fella. And then we just saw that same play where he picked up 94 feet. And that's what I mean about playing deliberate with pace and being patient. That wasn't patient right there by Williams.
Purdue's in the bonus the rest of the way. And Eastern cannot connect on the front end of the 1-and-1. Tennessee played over 4 minutes without fouling until they just picked that one up. But that's a big loss. Mark the score again. Grant Williams on the bench. Tennessee down 5. Turner's been money. He's hit 2 huge threes. And on the take this time for a layup. It's a 3-point game. 11-0 run for the Volunteers.
Look for a dribble handoff in the pick and roll using Haarms and trying to get Edwards involved, who really needs to assert himself in the offense.
Alexander all over Haarms. Nearly forced a turnover. Shot clock at 9. It's poked away by Turner. Edwards has got to hurry now. Shot clock at 5. To 3, and Edwards all the way denied. Kyle Alexander from the Great White North sends one out of here. 1 second on the shot clock.
That's what team defense is all about. Trust your teammates. Be vulnerable. If you beat me, I got help on the back end.
Take a look at the Taco Bell second half game summary. It is a current 11-0 Tennessee run, and they are back in this game down 3. It is Purdue ball, Chris, with 1 on the shot clock after the rejection.
Yes, you must watch out for the screen on Edwards, probably by the big fella, but also watch the alley-oop in there to Haarms as well after he sets the screen.
All the way on the other corner is Edwards. And up top for Haarms. Boy, the pass in hit the rim. I think it was set up well, but they couldn't get the pass to him. So Tennessee, again, they can tie on this possession with a 3-pointer. Purdue had a 12-point lead at the half. Extended it to 18. Here is Turner, and we are tied! Lamonte Turner buries another triple. His 3rd of the second half.
It would only be right if Lamonte Turner tied it. He's been out here sacrificing his body all night on defense.
Eastern goes and scores at the basket. Strong to the rim. No gel, Eastern. 6.5 in regulation. A trip to the Elite 8 on the line. The SEC and the Big Ten going at it here in Louisville. Bone and Schofield. Eifert guarding Schofield. Schofield gives it up. Alexander. No, the putback. Yes!
Schofield went for the gamble. If you're a Volunteer fan, you're saying, thank you, Schofield. Please just stay in the post and go to work. This is how we get back in the game and take leads.
Edwards for three. Back iron. Turner with the rebound. Now Tennessee can take the lead. It would be their first lead since early in this game. The first basket of the game scored by Jordan Bone.
Let's see if they decide to go back to a successful play or if they run something different. They always seem to run something different after they have a successful play inside to Schofield.
5.5 to go. Turner behind the back. Edwards checks him. Here's Bowden now. And Schofield, a long three. You bet! Admiral Schofield has given Tennessee the lead. .12.5 for Admiral Schofield. Cline for three. Oh, what an answer from Ryan Cline.
Man, does he have a quick trigger with that hit. You can't block it. 18 points, 4 for 7 from the three-point line for Cline.
Ryan Cline has 13 this half. Back and forth they go. Schofield gets walloped by Edwards.
Look at this, and no, this is not the perfect situation for Tennessee until it goes in. Look at the crowd celebrating. You'd much rather have Schofield in that post area, but I tell you what, we saw him take over the other night against Iowa. He's taking over now with his teammate, the SEC Player of the Year, Grant Williams, on the bench.
Knocks down the first free throw. Tennessee had just 4 assists in the first half. This is a team that was top 5 in the country in assists per game. They averaged nearly 18 a game. They've got 8 in the second half already. And Schofield knocks 2 free throws down, and the Volunteers up 72-70 with 4:40 left. Eifert playing with 4 fouls. Bowden all over him. Here's Edwards now. Pulls up. The jumper. No. And goes up and over the backboard. And that Tennessee defensive pressure starting to bear down.
Edwards, if you're Edwards, you have to say to yourself, listen, I'm one of the best scorers in the country. But I've had some good looks. A couple have gone in and out. You can't get discouraged. You have to keep taking them. But you see the points by half. It's been Tennessee, and they've been doing it in the paint.
Erasing an 18-point deficit. Turner. Schofield now. Schofield draws the foul. No shot on the floor. And Admiral Schofield gonna head to the line for a 1-and-1. Timeout on the floor. We're set up for a dandy for a ticket to the Elite Eight. AT&T takes us above the rim. One of the best plays of the night, C-Web.
How about Kyle Alexander? He has 5 points, but his most exciting play came on the defensive end at a great time, knocking the ball out of bounds. He has 2 blocks tonight. And that possession gave Purdue 1 second. He swatted out of bounds. 1 second to get their shot off. They couldn't. Great job by him getting the turnover.
We welcome all of you coming over from CBS. Gonzaga moving on to the Elite Eight, taking down Florida State. 3rd trip for the Zags to the Elite Eight in the last 5 years. This has been a dandy here in Louisville, Kentucky. Brian Anderson with Chris Webber, Allie LaForce. The Tennessee Volunteers were down 18 points in this second half. Had a run by Purdue to go back up 14 after Tennessee had cut it to single digits. But right now, Tennessee in the last 6:50, a 22-5 run, and they have a 3-point lead. The 2 seed. Motel Eastern gives it up. Cline, the hot hand, 4-3. It's down. What a half for Ryan Cline. 21 for the game for Cline. That gives him 16 in the half. And he's playing with 4 fouls. Turner in the air. Nice catch by Bowden. Alexander, that's not her spot.
Good patience by Alexander, getting it back out. Now you can take your time. Schofield has it in his sweet spot.
And Admiral Schofield gives it up. Alexander. And he scores on Haarms. Tennessee back in the lead. Under 3 minutes to go.
Now, if you're Purdue, you've gotten away from some of your game, too. You have to go back inside the Haarms and go with the pick and roll with he and Edwards, or at least the dribble handoff.
Here's Cline again. Oh, has he got another one in him? Oh, you know he does! Ryan Cline! 24 points! Puts the Boilers on top. It's a new career high for him. He's got 19 and a half. For the answer, Schofield. Yes, sir! Shot-making master class in Louisville. Up top, Haarms open. Oh, not at the rim by Alexander. What a block. Here's Edwards now for three. And it is Eifert with the rebound. And a foul. Alexander of Tennessee called for the foul. Wow.
Look at Cline. I mean, this is just dead eye. That's right. Throw up the threes because you were knocking them down, and on the other end, Schofield says, okay, my turn. From the corner, his favorite spot.
Schofield hit 3 monster threes in round 1 in Tennessee's win against Colgate. Grady Eifert, walk on to scholarship player. Calmly buries the first free throw. Check the timeout story below. There's his brother Tyler, NFL tight end. His dad Greg, former Boilermaker basketball player. 2 timeouts apiece. Both teams in the bonus. Next Tennessee foul is going to send Purdue to the line for 2 free throws.
If you're Tennessee, you have Williams in the game. You beat Iowa with their high-low post with he and Schofield playing together. Let Schofield continue to post up. He's already facilitated. And don't forget about Williams on the offensive
How
board.
about Bowden? Front iron. Cline with the rebound. 1-point game. Purdue down with the ball. Nojel Eastern will get him started. Carson Edwards, top scorer in the Big Ten. There he is with Turner on him. And a whistle, timeout. Matt Painter wants to talk it over. He's got 1 left. Rick Barnes, Matt Painter, SEC, Big Ten. Let's give you some recent history here. Take you back November of last season in Atlantis in the Bahamas. And Tennessee had a comeback win in that game. They were down double digits. Grant Williams was superb. They went to overtime. We show you that because Rick Barnes told us yesterday he thought that was a pivotal moment in the program in his time here, now in his 4th year, beating a top 25 team in Purdue at the time.
Yeah, the familiarity gives you confidence if you're Tennessee. You said, hey, we've done this before. Let's summon that strength and that courage that we have out there in Atlantis. And I mean, they're doing it now.
Here's Eastern on the take to the basket. And the layup will not go. And it's Schofield with the rebound.
What a great after timeout call by the coach, Matt Painter. And now he's encouraging his guys, saying, it's okay, you missed it. Just get a stop.
Agonizing for Eastern as it hangs on the rim. Turner, Williams. Oh, and a two-handed jam. Grant Williams playing with 4 fouls. Gives the Vols a 3-point lead.
Schofield's present in the post that time actually set the screen for the driver to come through and be able to see a cutting Williams coming down the line.
50 seconds. Here's Haarms looking for Cline. Williams switches on him. Shot clock down to 9. Cline can't dribble himself free. He's going to have to take a long one. Cline step back 3 for the tie. Oh! He's done it again!
Man, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. The fight of both teams, the will of both teams. Neither team is going to give up.
Timeout. 29.8 on the clock. Eastern's agonizingly close layup. And you're thinking at that point, if you're Purdue, we are in trouble. Tennessee comes right down on the floor, and Grant Williams, the SEC Player of the Year, scores. And this dude, 22 second-half points. 27 for the game for Ryan Cline.
The benches react. This is a good one for the ages. If you're a Purdue Boilermaker or if you're a volunteer, how about that career high? And he has made some tough shots. But right now you have to leave all of that where it is. You can't do anything about scoring right now. If you're Purdue, you have to get a stop, and I would be totally surprised if Tennessee does not go into the post, get it to Schofield, or at least drive off of him like they did the last play to find Williams. It should be Williams, Schofield, or Bowden with the drive, period.
5 seconds separating game clock and shot clock. Both teams in the bonus. A Purdue foul will send Tennessee to the line for a 1-and-1. Jordan Bone at the controllers. Now Turner. Shot clock at 5. Turner's on the take. High off the window. And followed in by Grant Williams. Tennessee by 2. Shot clock is off. And Matt Painter takes his last timeout. The beast of the SEC, Grant Williams, with the follow dunk, has the Volunteers up a deuce.
Purdue got the play they wanted. They wanted him to drive, but guess what? The help comes over from Haarms. And therefore, there is no one in the paint to stop Williams, who's a relentless rebounder. That's his 3rd offensive rebound of the night. And the bench knows when it goes up. Look for Mr. SEC. That's right, the best man in the SEC this year, Williams, to clean it up.
So Tennessee with 1 timeout remaining. A Tennessee foul results in 2 free throws in the double bonus for Purdue. The possession arrow belongs to Tennessee if there is a held ball. 8.8 seconds on the game clock.
It's not that easy to predict on this Purdue side who can take the shot. Yeah, you know you want to get the ball into Cline's hands. We've already said he's 7 for 10. But if he is denied, you have other shooters. You have Eifert. He's 1 for 2 from the 3-point line tonight. You have Edwards. He's 5 for 14 from the 3-point line. You even have Wheeler, who's 2 for 3 from the 3-point line. But this man, Cline, because he's been shooting this way, I expect him to be denied already to the game. So make sure, if he is denied, you have other guys coming up, Eifert and Edwards specifically.
Here we go. Edwards on the push. Game clock to 6 to 5. Edwards all the way in, hangs, and a great defensive play by Williams. It'll be Purdue ball. Now they can look at this. Under 2 minutes, you can go to review. The officials will take a look. Why not at this point? And this is going to be some anxiety here during this review. Williams got a hand on it. Was it off the leg of Edwards? Oh, man.
Hard to tell from that angle.
Tough to see it there. This could be the game right here, folks. This call. Oh, what hands by Grant Williams. That look there, Chris, looks like it was separated from the leg.
Yeah, and it doesn't change direction either, the ball. It continues to spin that way, so I don't think it was touching. Again, the referees have such a tough job, but you just hope that you can get this quick so both teams can get back to playing with the momentum that both of them have and the sweat.
So they've asked us to put the clock in, the officials. That leads us to believe that they've made a decision that they will not be overturned, and they're going to get the clock put where they want it. Jeff Anderson, Joe Lindsay, DJ Carstensen, outstanding officiating crew. And basically, remember, Purdue didn't have a timeout. This review allows them to talk over this play with 2.5 to go.
And how important is that when we're talking about basically an after timeout call? But we saw in the first half how Purdue executed with the screens up under. So you must watch for back screens with guards cutting to the rim, one popping out for the flare, and maybe most importantly, Haarms, after he sets the screen, being wide open for the little bitty oop inside the paint.
Lead official Jeff Anderson. 2.7 on the clock officially. And we will play here. Purdue ball. Purdue hasn't escaped the Sweet 16 since 2000.
Tennessee must communicate on defense, especially if they're going to switch.
2 to tie, 3 to potentially win. Cline, the deadly three-point shooter, will put it in. The 6'11" Alexander guarding him, no timeouts. Here's Edwards for 3 to go ahead. He's fouled! Oh my goodness! Carson Edwards is fouled on a three-pointer. 3 free throws with a chance to give Purdue the lead. Oh man.
What a play right there.
Heels were up.
Heels up right on that line.
Oh boy. Now he's got to make the next 2. Heels were up. Foul is called. Free throw number 2. I mean, you dream about this as a kid. His mom, Carla, can hardly watch.
I bet she's saying her prayers for her son right now.
Purdue now 4 for 14 from the free throw line. This one to tie it with 1:07 on the clock. Big free throw, clutch by Carson Edwards. Tennessee has a timeout. Let's see if they use it. And a substitution coming. The speedy Jordan Bone.
With this, you have to watch out for a full court pass to a big fella who then tips it to a guard streaming down the sideline for a shot. You must watch the home run play. It'll be 2 passes, one to a big, one to a guard streaking.
Could be for the game. Otherwise, we're going for overtime. Jordan Bone will put it in. Here's Williams. And a timeout. Wow. 0.1 on the clock. They will look at this. This is not the NBA. You can't advance the ball with a timeout. That's why Rick Barnes had to put it in and then chose to take the timeout, but I'm not sure he's left himself with enough time here.
Yeah, it takes 2 passes usually if you want that half court or if you want that heave, and usually you can get it to the big man. Williams comes up because Purdue plays it right. Everyone stays back and forces it. Looks like it was 0.8 or somewhere around that time. I know Coach Barnes is going to fight for every millisecond on that clock.
And what matters here is that it is something other than 0.1, because that doesn't allow you enough time. Back to the review monitor they go. Tennessee uses their last timeout. Man, what a game. This has been something else. March Madness at its best. Tennessee down 18. Now we are tied at 82 right there.
Yeah, it looked like the clock started before Grant Williams actually caught the ball, and that's what he went over to the ref to say. If you look here, I don't know if we can see the time, but you see it starts almost right before the catch, and the refs getting together to discuss it.
All right, what's in the Chris Webber playbook with less than a second to go to try to win and advance to the Elite Eight?
Well, it really depends. If they get that 0.8, 0.9, you have a world of time. If the clock stays right here, it's nothing you can do.
Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, Jeff Anderson coming over.
When we acknowledge, and when he's moving his hand, is at 0.1. It's not, we can't hear anything, so it's on our acknowledgement of the play, on the timeout.
Okay, hope you heard that. Jeff Anderson, if you didn't, says it's when we acknowledge the timeout. When they acknowledge the timeout, 0.1. Cannot catch and shoot here. Has to be a tip at the rim.
Do not foul before the inbounds play, obviously, to send the team to the line.
And it is deflected, and that's it. And put another 5 on the clock. Let's go overtime again. Tennessee beat Iowa in overtime in the second round. They've got another Big Ten team going to overtime here in the Sweet 16. We've had 2 overtime games in the NCAA tournament. Chris Webber and I and Allie LaForce have been honored to call them both. Tennessee and Iowa, overtime in round 2. Remember, Tennessee had a 25-point lead get away. Got it to overtime, then won in overtime. It was Grant Williams who put the anchor down in overtime in that game. And now we're going back. Tennessee 2-2 in overtime this year. Purdue 2-0. This is where the stars shine. By the way, how big were those 2 free throws by Carson Edwards after he missed the first one? Purdue with the ball. Another 5 on the clock. The winner advancing to the Elite Eight. And a matchup with either Oregon or the top seed Virginia. That'll be our next game. How about
Grant Williams for Tennessee, starting off on the bench. You know he has 4 fouls, but he has a partner in Schofield that they want to go to work.
Here's Haarms going to work with the left. He's fouled by Alexander. Alexander picks up his 4th foul. And Haarms to the free throw line. Let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Guys, Coach Painter was very calm in that last huddle. He didn't play to the emotion of this game. He got right to business. He said when they come at us on the baseline, we have to send cutters to the ball. He also said everybody crash the boards hard. This is a Tennessee team that he believes relies on their athleticism to rebound and isn't always disciplined in boxing out, so he thinks they have an advantage there.
Yeah, and Coach knows one way to neutralize the physical play of Tennessee is to get it inside to Haarms. That's his first post up in the last 10 minutes. So great call by Coach.
1 out of 2 for Haarms. He's 1 for 5 from the line. Matt Painter going a little offense defense with Ryan Cline, who's on the bench now with 4 fouls. Grant Williams soon to be checking in. Big 3 is up from Turner. No, it's Haarms with the rebound. Purdue by a point. And the ball. The next whistle, Grant Williams will enter. Nothing there for Carson Edwards. Now no-tail Eastern. Got a size mismatch. Gives it up though. Now Eifert to the basket. Eifert. No. Putback. Yes. No-gel Eastern with the follow. And Purdue by 3.
The most dangerous man on the court is a guy that can knock down a shot. Eifert can. All he did was give a little head fake, got to the paint.
Here's Lamonte Turner, and he's fouled. And Turner clutching at his left calf. No-gel Eastern picks up his 4th foul, and Turner grabbing at his left calf there.
You hope that it's a cramp. You don't want to ever guess, but by the way he straightened his foot out and he's going inside, and I mean the effort. Can we say enough about him tonight? Turner, as we're going to watch him land here and see if he comes down awkwardly, but it started with Turner's defense. It started with Turner getting into the passing lanes and taking up on himself to make sure that he was wherever he saw Edwards on the floor. Been so big for his team tonight.
Athletic trainer Chad Newman is out. That was the jump leg, not the landing leg of Lamonte Turner. And just trying to massage that muscle. 3:39 remaining in this first overtime. Foul trouble stacking up. Williams starting on the bench here in overtime for Tennessee. Kyle Alexander just picked up his 4th. And then you've got Cline and Eastern with 4. Eastern was called for the foul here. Now the jump leg is the one you could see halfway in the air.
Yeah.
He was already screaming.
He's not able to shoot. Purdue can pick from one of the 4 players on the court. It would be 5, 23, 11, or 0. He would be able to choose from. All right? Okay.
Appreciate Jeff Anderson. And if you didn't hear that, if he's unable to shoot, Purdue can choose from the 4 remaining players on the floor. Schofield, Bowden, Bone, and Alexander. Certainly wouldn't go with Alexander. Bone, the best free throw shooter of the group at 83%.
Yeah, but if you're Purdue, you're going to pick someone that hasn't played in a while, maybe even a freshman down on their bench. Grant Williams at the half-court mark coming in.
So just some more housekeeping here. They're saying that foul was on the floor, so 1 and 1. And the selection is Kyle Alexander, a 64% free throw shooter in the regular season, has bumped it up to 65 plus. Purdue gets the choice, and Alexander calmly knocks it down. That's what you like to see. Ryan Cline will enter.
All the high school players out there, players that have played on every level, knows that this is why your coach makes you run suicides and says, as Alexander knocks it down, when one misses, we all run. And Alexander right there says, I got our back, team. I'll knock him down.
2 big free throws. for the big man of the Volunteers. 1 point Purdue lead. Schofield checks Eastern up top. Haarms catch. Can't finish. And Alexander with the rebound. Kyle Alexander has been terrific on the boards. He's got 8 boards. 6 of those 8 are offensive rebounds for Kyle Alexander. Chance for Tennessee to take the lead. Lamonte Turner wants to come back in the game. He's at the scorer's table. Williams fires it. Bone for 3. No. And a foul on Alexander. Kyle Alexander has just fouled out.
A little bit of an over the back here. But that's why you box out. That's why you make sure you stick to the basics. And Eifert right there doing his best not to let Alexander get an extra possession for his team. And guess what? Fouls him out in the process.
Free throws for Eifert. Double bonus for Purdue. He's a 70% free throw shooter. 1 out of 2 tonight. The senior from Fort Wayne gets a friendly bounce. A shooter's roll. Alexander beside himself. He's gone. Williams has 4 fouls as well. 2 clutch free throws for Eifert. Purdue up 3. Under 3 minutes to go in overtime. Turner back on the floor looking for Schofield. Admiral Schofield. Little turnaround. No. And Haarms kept it alive into the hands of Eastern.
Tough shot. I know Schofield wish he could have that again. Probably should have just went back to the basket and tried to lay it up. The tough shot made it tougher than it had to be.
Here's Cline. 27 tonight, career high for Cline. He's had a huge second half. He's at 6 threes and a half. Now, Edwards, yes! Left-handed layup is good for Carson Edwards.
He continuously moves off the ball. That's why he's so hard to guard, coming in for the easy curl layup.
That's a whistle, and that's on Cline, and he's done.
Turner was so smart on this play. Cline was in a position we call lock and trail. Lock and trail just means that when the screen is coming for the smaller guy, that you get behind him and you run and chase. What's going to happen is he's going to stop. And this is the layup first by Edwards as he gets inside. The beautiful left-hand layup. Now, watch how Turner stops right here. I'm trailing. I'm going to stop and make you foul me. What a smart play right there by Turner. He's been doing it on both ends of the court. And just on that play, he did it with his IQ.
He gets a standing O from the Purdue faithful, including his parents. 22 second half points for Ryan Cline. He'll exit with 27. Now Turner at the line. Tennessee down 5. Can't get it to go, but Williams, no, he lost the handle. He had it and then lost it. And it's Purdue ball. No gel. Eastern will get the offense started. Tennessee down 18 in the second half. A valiant comeback to force overtime. Haarms wide open for a jam. Set up by Eifert. Tennessee needs something right here. Schofield, great pass, and a two-handed flush for Grant Williams.
Again, if you're Tennessee, because you are so aggressive getting out, denying the shooters, you must watch again for the slip of Haarms. The beautiful slip. Everyone thinks he's going to screen down. It's actually a back screen by Edwards on that play. Beautiful screen by Edwards, and your man Cline's on the bench. Oh, yeah, he's still playing. He's just sitting over there cheering his guys on. Now he's turning into a coach as well.
Free throws for No Gel Eastern. 65% free throw shooter, and the lefty misses. By the way, Bowden picked up the foul. That's his 4th.
Everybody must attack the glass. Eastern has a funky-looking shot here, and you want to be prepared in case he misses it.
Got it. 1 out of 2. 6-point game. Tennessee with Williams taking on Haarms, and a foul.
Haarms is bringing his guys together. Matt Haarms is telling his fellas, listen, calm down. The ref called the foul. We'll take the foul. Now we just need to secure the rebound. Worry about what we can control. The big fella trying to get his team together.
Oh, another missed free throw. Agonizing at the line right now. Grady Eifert got the foul. Oh, a ton of misses, huh? Tennessee, they shoot 76 plus for the season. They've missed 13 tonight. Williams hits 1 2-possession game. Timeout. Or is it? Nope. It's a substitution. Actually, a foul. I beg your pardon. So the foul was called before the timeout. And free throws coming. Bowden is out. Picks up his 5th. Edwards will head to the line to shoot a pair. Jalen Johnson will enter for Bowden. 16 tonight for Bowden. He was big in the comeback. Hit some clutch threes. Carson Edwards. The 2 free throws that tied the game. A free throw to make it a 3-possession game for the Boilers. And they're up 7.
If you're Purdue, you must try to play without fouling. Let the clock run as much as possible. With Tennessee, you got to get a good one.
Williams for 3 under a minute. No. And it is saved by Hunter. Purdue with the ball. Got to foul him. And Hunter is fouled. And the Boilermakers are starting to smell it right now. Grant Williams with the foul. He has fouled out. The freshman Eric Hunter with the save. And with 51.8 seconds to go, Purdue in control as Williams will exit with 21. Eric Hunter, the freshman from Indy. Phil Fulmer, Tennessee athletic director. The old coach. Gene Katie watches on as the freshman hits 1 out of 2.
Look for the flare screen in full speed. Make sure you communicate. They're going to try to get a quick 3 up.
Got to get it going. They're down 8. And looking inside for Fulkerson. A kick ball there by Haarms. Precious time ticking off. 8 seconds ticking off the clock.
This is the shot that will either keep you in it, or if you miss it, you just know that you probably can't get back in it as a player.
Fulkerson. And he draws a foul and he scores. Oh. You tell him over and over, no fouls inside the 3-point arc or outside the 3-point arc.
We are
Fulkerson going to the line.
Creatures of habit and instinct, and you're so right. Whenever you get a shot block, you want to give the pump fake harm. He should know better. He should know to stay down, but Fulkerson wanted that finish strong.
Can't convert, and it's Eifert with the rebound. More free throws coming. 6-point game. Lamonte Turner picks up his 4th foul. What a game this has been. Purdue looked like they were a runaway train. After they jumped out to an 18-point lead, it was 51-33 in the second half, and then Tennessee had a flurry. Purdue had an answer, and then another flurry by Tennessee. Eifert hits another one. He's now 4 of 5 from the free throw line.
Tell you what, whoever wins this game, coach is going to have them in the gym early tomorrow shooting free throws. He can guarantee that.
Back to a 3-possession game, 1 out of 2. Tennessee got to go fast. Bone with Eifert on him. Schofield, he'll take the three. No. Purdue with the rebound. Shot clock is off. It's another foul. And they're starting to feel it now. Dancing on the bench. Purdue in their third consecutive Sweet 16. They have not been able to get over the hump. Had a loss against Minnesota in the Big Ten tournament. Came into this NCAA tournament a little rattled. Going to put 3 wins on the board to advance to the Elite Eight. Look at Eifert. Touched it last. Tennessee ball. 24.2 remaining.
How about the fight of Tennessee to get back in the game? And we know Eifert, he's been fighting all night long on both ends of the floor.
Bone for 3. It's good. A 5-point game, 19.3 left. Timeout Tennessee. Rick Barnes uses his last TO.
See Bone getting it on just a dead sprint and stopping on a dime. Desperation time, and he says, I can get us 3 more points.
Well, the free throw story is a big one. Purdue has missed 15 free throws in this game and certainly headed to the line. So a 2-possession game, Chris. It's a 5-point game. Purdue has the basketball, and you figure this one is going to come back to the free throw line.
Well, you know, I've seen some crazy things happen, so with me, it's never over. 20 seconds left. And so right now, if you're Tennessee, you just want to make sure it's all about getting that shot. Probably it'll turn into a free throw game, like you said, but both teams really not being themselves at the line today. Right now, it's not time to think about what could happen. It's just time to think about where you are, stay in the moment, and for these Volunteers, it's trying to get a stop in the score.
What a game. Purdue by 5. They'll have the ball. Shot clock is off. The Boilermakers' last victory in a Sweet 16 game was the year 2000. They beat Gonzaga. They've lost 4 straight Sweet 16 games. Tennessee in their program history has just 1 victory in the Sweet 16. They are 1-5. Here's Edwards and the quick foul. Jalen Johnson got him. Edwards will go to the line. Carson Edwards, 27 points tonight. Scored 68 in his first 2 games. He had 42 against Villanova in the second round. And he is 6 for 10 from the free throw line in this one, including the 2 that tied it late.
And as a coach, you value so much as Edwards knocks and misses another one, but you value your players that want to get to the line. Edwards didn't pass that ball up down there when he got it in because he wanted to get to the line. You want players like that on your team.
4th consecutive NCAA tournament game for Edwards with 25 or more. 2-possession game. The lead is 6 for Purdue. Got to get a 3 up. Clock ticks down to 10. Here's Bone. That's a 2. And it's Edwards with the rebound and a quick foul. Back to the line goes Carson Edwards. What a game. What a player this guy is. The junior from Atascocita, Texas.
Oh, man, he gets up 10 threes a game. Number 5 in the country. He has the green light. He can do it all over. I'm impressed with him off the ball just as much. I'm impressed with him just as much off the ball as I am with the ball in his hands. He has a bag of tricks, and he will show you every one of them.
Sitting on 28 points. Stays at 28. By the way, I've told you that he's in his 4th straight NCAA tournament game, 25 or more points. He's the first player to do that since Stephen Curry of Davidson. That was back in the 07-08 NCAA tournament runs. 2 seasons for that.
Pretty good company.
Yeah, amen. Well, this one coming to the finish line. Schofield will get the last bucket in his illustrious Tennessee career, and the Purdue Boilermakers out of the Big Ten headed to the Elite Eight. into the line for the Tennessee Volunteers. The 2 seed is out, and the Boilers are going back to the Elite Eight for the first time since 2000. What a game.
What a game by both teams. Let's start off with Tennessee down 18, got back in the game with their heart, their hard work, and their will. They just got away from their game plan of going inside to Schofield. He's filling it over there. And to Grant Williams, but to the winners, the Purdue Boilermakers. They stayed, they kept their heads even when they lost the lead. They kept executing on the offensive and defensive end. Resilient fight by the Boilermakers tonight.
Carson Edwards, 29 points. Ryan Cline was the star in the second half. 22 in the second half for Cline. Send it to Allie with Matt Painter.
Coach, congratulations on the win. This will be your first trip to the Elite Eight as a head coach, the program's first in 19 years. Why was this the special unit that got it done?
Well, these guys hung in there. Obviously, we had a tough non-conference. We were able to win our league along with Michigan State. We got a 17-point lead in this game. They come back and take the lead, and that's tough. It's tough to recover from. These guys have been resilient, and they've been great all year.
Be honest, Carson Edwards, an 85% free throw shooter, misses his first one when he had 3, 2 more to tie it. What was going through your mind as you were watching that go down?
Well, obviously, he had the wherewithal to shoot that in the corner, and then obviously he got fouled. And you hope he makes 3, but that's tough, man. That's a tough situation. But we're glad he knocked down the 2, and he was great in overtime.
Don't stand too close to this guy. I think he's still hot. Ryan, wow, were you clutch out there? Thank you, Coach. 6 threes in the second half alone, a career high for you. Just tell me, what's it like to be so clutch and to nail those threes to silence this Tennessee dominant crowd in here?
No, it definitely meant a lot to our team, meant a lot to me. My teammates were giving me open. I was hitting the shots at the right time.
Why will this be the team to make a very deep run in this tournament, all the way to the Final Four?
A lot of people counted us out at the beginning of the year, and we're just kind of free-spirited, and we're happy to be here, obviously, but we're playing for each other, and it's a lot of fun right now.
How much confidence did you have in your team as you had to watch from the bench with 5 fouls?
Yeah, it was tough watching from the bench, but I told him right before I went out, I said, man, you guys don't win this for me, you guys win this for yourself.
Congrats on the win. Enjoy it.
Thank
Ryan.
All right, Allie, thank you. Great stuff. Ryan Cline made 7 threes. Purdue hit 15 in the game. They had 16 against Villanova. Purdue, the first team ever with 15 or more threes in back-to-back NCAA tournament games. C-Webb, a thriller. And now, awaiting the winner, Purdue of Oregon and Virginia.